What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? You guys ready to get right back to the action? Of course, you know where you're at. Start swing trade. We'll take a look at what's going on in the action. And yes, guess what? I got me some new positions, guys. I was talking about how I wanted to buy the dip. I am buying the dip, and we'll talk about my new positions. One of the best ones right now, of course, is Apple. As I'm seeing Apple push off here, we'll look to see if it can continue through the highs, guys. I was thinking that Apple could continue to climb and work its way back, filling the gap to 190, eventually maybe getting to 200 on its report, of course, of what? Of course, the iPhone event coming soon. That's going to be on September 12th, the launch event. But I think this could run beforehand. So that's why I'm taking the swing in Apple. I got 185.98 today. That's a pretty decent move, almost up a full percent on that. And I took some day trading action today, too. A lot of good trades in SMCI. That was the best one of the day. Took that one from 260 all the way up there to around the 272 mark. Top profits in that one coming in around the 267 levels. So not looking too bad. And into the 270s, I was able to get a little bit more, 271.50s on the turnaround. Not bad at all, guys. And we're going to continue to see what happens there. I am long on some day trading action here, so I'm also trying to focus on that. That's why I was a little bit late. I'm long on Chevron at 160.23, about 70 shares, looking to see if this can get back above 160.30s. I'll show you guys exactly how that looks here. That's this outlook, right? And so you guys can see kind of the 15-minute outlook here. I jumped in right on this little move here, trying to hold towards the bottom of this. Really don't want it to cut back through the 160.08s. Looking to see if this is going to go back to 160.50 here towards the end of the day. Of course, we saw this kind of lift off from this level. Really wouldn't want it to come through that trend line now, come back towards 160.50, and it'd be looking pretty decent. This is another thing that I'm looking at, of course, XOM having a really decent day, back up there to 111s, and was looking at the XLE. Let's see if this can make a push here towards the end, towards 89. I'm keeping an eye on that trade. But what's going on, team? It's good to see you guys. Smash the like. I see Raz. I see EKS out there. And definitely stay safe. All those in the hurricane, guys, stay safe out there. Don't worry. The stocks will be waiting when you get back, of course. All right, let's keep going. Good afternoon. Picked up some shops, some shop calls. Hey, that's not a bad one. I was keeping an eye on shop. Let's take a look at shop, see how it's performing right now. Getting up there to the 59.72s. I talked about how this one could run if Amazon could get hot today. Amazon's been trying to get above 135 multiple times, just hasn't really gotten going here. I think we might get a little bit of a rally towards the end of the day here. So I kind of like Amazon. And to give you guys some perspective, I don't like to lie to you guys. I like to give it to you guys straight. I had Amazon earlier today. I had it at 134.82s. And 135.53. So somewhere in between there, I was averaged around 135, like 20, somewhere in that range. And then I got stopped out through the 164, kind of 63 level. Took a little bit of a hit, about half size of what I'd normally take on the swing trade. But I still think this looks good. So I do want to jump back in it. But since I already got stopped out once on it today, I'm going to leave this one alone and we'll see if it goes higher. It doesn't look too bad. I like Apple. I like Amazon. And I also like Microsoft for that 329 push here towards the end. We'll see what happens. I'm feeling good about AI stocks again as they're starting to get hot again. And I think that this is what we need to keep an eye out for. Can NVIDIA get back through 500? If that does happen and we don't even come close to these downside action turns, then who knows where the stocks could start to climb. So keep your eyes on that. We'll see what happens. Will we continue to see a climb? NVIDIA looked like it wanted 500 today. It rejected it by just a little bit here. It went up there to 499.25s and then 499.27s and then pulled right back down. So we'll see what happens on these. Can they get the lift? We'll find out. All right, let's keep going. Walter, it's good to see you in the chat. Let's keep going. Marty, what do you got? Amazon? You got a little bit of Amazon? All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at what else is going on. Jay Rice talking about Google. Looks a lot better than Amazon. All right, let's take a look. I mean, they both look good, I think. I mean, Amazon's report was really good, and it has pulled back on their report. Google is going through the high. but I'm more of a buy off support than buy on breakout, Jay. I can see why you can like Google here, and it does look like it's on a little bit of a breakout on the daily, right? And you guys can see this. We were looking at this trend line just before, and it held. I like buying on supports. I don't like buying on breakouts. So to me, Google's a little bit too far to be buying here. But hey, to each his own, right? We'll see what happens on that one. And for me, I like more of an Amazon off support kind of outlook going through the trend line. But hey, to each his own. They all kind of look good here. At least the bigger boys, they don't look too bad. Even Tesla coming back here to the 260s. Can it keep going? Yeah, there's nothing stopping it right now. And I don't think there's anything that's going to turn it around, at least for the short term being. And I feel like there's a lot of positioning that happened today. And that's what happens when you get a lot of these kind of sideways action moves. And when you're seeing these stocks kind of get the lift, Intel is one that definitely is on my radar. I can see this starting to get back through 35s, and it could just start pushing right back to 37 and making a move towards that 37. So this is not a bad stock to keep an eye out, as now we start to kind of lift off of this. Doesn't look too bad. I'd be looking for pullbacks at 34, but this could just keep running. I like Intel, even Micron coming back today shows me a little bit more strength coming back to the semiconductor names as this starts to lift. AMD starting to get a little bit of a push. We'll see if this wants to make a run back towards 115 and continue to lift. Of course, it's going to be depending on the big boys. Can Microsoft continue to lift? Can these AI names keep pushing? SMCI, really not a bad play on the day. I played this more on the hourly. Wanted to keep a little bit, but hey, it was a day trade. So as long as we got close here towards the resistance, wanted to take the green, just went through it. And now we'll see if SMCI can really take out the daily highs. If it takes out 280, it could really start working back to 300. So that's another thing that I will keep watch to see if maybe I day trade it again. And it's pulling back here towards the close. So we'll see what happens there on SMCI. All right, guys, there's a lot of stocks making moves today. If you guys have some stocks you guys want to take a look at, throw them up in the chat. We can take a look. Raz wants to take a look at hurricane and stock relationships for the newbie foreigner. Of course, I got you, Raz. What you could have been looking at today is a trade in Home Depot. And look how that reacted. Not a bad little move. This was kind of more of a VWAP bounce type of trade where it goes above big green, back through the VWAP, and then comes back through the highs. Back through the VWAP, back through the highs. That's not a bad outlook there in Home Depot. Low was not a bad one there as it went higher to 230s. And overall, home improvement stores doing well today. You can see even smaller names like FND getting a little bit of a lift. But overall, home improvement stores not doing too bad here. Definitely would stick more with the kind of the bigger names like HD and Lowell. You saw house and residential construction getting a little bit of a move higher. And of course, Generac actually pulling back a little bit after the hurricane hit. A lot of people started playing this earlier in the week. Will it be able to catch the dip and go right back up there to 124s? Doesn't look too bad. It did come back to an hourly support right around here where it tested down below 117s and then recovered it. So now I'd want to see it hold 117 on some pullbacks. BTU, not a bad mention there. Coal plays were hot today and keeps consolidating. I'll tell you what, Kevin, I've been going after BTU multiple times and gotten stopped out. So I'm going to stay off of it, but I do want to keep an eye on it, right? A move back through the weekly highs. And that's what I've been doing for BTU is just let me stick to the weekly highs, because if I keep going off of the daily highs, I'm going to keep probably getting trapped. So I'm looking for a close on the weekly back above 2309. If we can close back above 23s, this can really start making a move. AMR is the best of breed in coal right now, and this looks like it wants to continue climbing. Take a look at the daily, and you can see how it catches a 9 EMA on pullbacks. If this trend breaks, though, be careful because coal could pull back in a hurry. All right, let's keep going. Apple still looking good. AAL is one that I added to recently for the 15 break. It's looking like it wants to get there, but right now pulling back the 1480s. We'll look to see if this gets back through the 15. Wood is that an ETF? Yeah, Global Timber Forestry Index. This looks like has a couple of names. Clearwater Paper. Corporation. I don't know any of these names, to tell you the truth. These look like some, of course, some packaging names, some kind of safe plays, but nah, not nothing I like. There's the Pave, which is an interesting one. If you're looking for an interesting ETF, USA Infrastructure Development, this looks interesting, has continued going. This has been a really big trender as of late. Rivian mentioned in the chat. All right, guys, not looking too bad on that Rivian. It's ripping there towards 2290s. And that actually might get your VFS right back up there. As you see these autos continuing to climb. This came down all the way to 40, guys. $40. I'm so glad I called the warning shot up here when it was in the 86. It's back down to 40. I mean, like, come on, guys. This stock might end up being a $5 stock. I wouldn't touch this thing with a 10-foot pole, but we'll see what happens on that one. Ford also pulling back today. Just tells me at any moment we can get that strike news, and that's too much risk there for me in Ford and GM. Palantir, one of my top trade outlooks of the day. I actually tried to trade this, and I had a hell of a good entry. Guys, I had an amazing entrance on Palantir, yet still didn't do well on the name. A little frustrated in my execution on this one. It was a really good trade. I'll show you guys exactly what those trades were. And that was on right out the gates. I added at like 1558, 1550, 1543. Ended up getting out of the name at the 47 and 46 level. And that's not what I wanted there, guys. This was literally one that if I would have just held towards the 40 level, I wouldn't have got cut out and I would have been able to ride it up there to 16. That was my intended target. It was a nice little 5-to-1 outlook. Not a bad trade there on Palantir, just not good execution by me and missing this style of trade. It was a good one, just definitely got caught. And another one that I took that you guys might want to talk about, of course, is Coin. Coin, I got stopped out here on the bottom towards the 83 kind of 20 area. And I'm looking at this one for a potential swing trade. I'm thinking about it already. I'm looking to see if this can get back above 85s. If this does make a move above 85s, I want in. So we'll see what happens. And you guys know, I haven't been the biggest fan of Coinbase, but I see, BlackRock, all these kind of ETFs starting to make that move in the Bitcoin space. Bitto was another one that I was keeping an eye on. The 14 just seems like it's just hanging on by a thread, and it looks like it wants to make a rip back towards 1450. This is just one that I'm keeping an eye on. Mara looked good today through the 13s as it started to recover VWAP. It pulled back here towards 1304, then lifted back towards 1342. That actually looks pretty decent. Riot staying strong today. So you guys can keep after these kind of Bitcoin names. Now, here's a good one mentioned by Mr. DeSoto. I'm still in DE. Man, I'm kicking myself because I don't have Deer and during this environment. You guys are seeing it. Look at that takeoff right back. And we were talking about it right here, guys, right on that golden cross that we could get this downturn and then a potential run right back. And I was looking at CAT today. CAT looked really good off the VWAP. This is what also was standing out to me today of maybe taking a shot on CAT on this pullback here towards 281.50s. I could see this pushing back up towards the daily highs. It's actually looking pretty well. Deer looking pretty good as it starts to recover. Pakar is another one that I'd keep watch to see if this can get hot again. If this gets hot, I definitely want to maybe take this one as the leaders like Deer and Cat take the up move. Marie's talking about Deer also. I mean, Deer was one that I liked on the downside outlook. It's just more along, just got caught, guys. Just got caught on it going through 400 and not buying it back when it went through 400. I should have gone after it again through that 400, and I missed it. And I've missed some really good plays like that. I still remember when Lily did a move like this to me, and then next thing you know, I couldn't catch up to Lily. So I will be looking for pullbacks on Deer. I was looking for it today below 400. It didn't even give me a shot, and now it's back at 415s. So big move there on Deer. Here's another one. I don't have any Deer, but I'm having a beer. I see you, JRP. What's another one? AAL. How's your AAL outlook going for you? Not bad. One thing that I would say is just kind of continuing to watch the weekly. And that's what I'm really kind of watching here is if we can hold this weekly, it really doesn't look too bad because now you're pulling back here. You're looking for that kind of retracement right back up through the 15s, 16s, and 17s. I actually don't mind this, especially as we get closer and closer to the holidays. Of course, you're going to be hearing more people kind of getting some American Airlines holiday tickets, right? And so I think this doesn't look too bad. As long as we can hold now 1450 pullbacks, we're looking good. We really just need the other stocks to kind of get that prop up too. UAL, DAL, don't look too bad. They just need a nice little day there in the airlines. We'll see what happens to these names. You can see DAL pulling back a little bit today. Maybe on the next day, we can get through 44. If that happens, we're looking pretty good there in Delta. All right, Marty's bringing up a small position in Okta. All right, that's interesting play there. That's a technology name, of course, trying to come back. Software names have been hot as of late. This does look like it's trying to get a little bit stronger here. We'll see what happens on this play. I was looking at some software names today. Unity was on my radar. That's looking pretty good here off the VWAP. We'll look to see if this makes its move back to 37.75, but doesn't look too bad here. I actually don't mind this one for a swing trade outlook as this is really starting to get hot again. And who knows? Maybe we do get a little bit of a pullback, but this could really start running. Kind of like it here. Roku was also on my radar also today. And of course, why are these coming up? Because they're kind of the growth names, right? And look at this little pattern here. I like how you're rejecting, you're gunning back through it. You got a nice little pullback to the 80s. This could just keep grinding higher now. We'll see what happens. Doesn't look too bad on the risk to return. Of course, ARKK names getting a nice little lift. If you guys didn't catch our Kathy Wood interview, well, what are you waiting for, guys? I'll actually give you guys the link right here if you guys want to check out that Kathy interview and for some reason missed it here. There's the link in the chat. Definitely check that out, guys. I'll throw it up again near the end of the show. All right, let's keep taking a look at what else is making moves. And I'm still long on Chevron, watching this starting to go into the green. Just trying to get this to really start moving here because I don't want to overnight this. This just got to 160.40 and then pulled back. I'll show you guys that right now. So I'm looking to see if this can really start climbing here towards the end of the day. And of course, I'll probably cut this at the end of the day, right? Like I don't want this coming back through my entry now, 160.20. If that does happen, I'll just get out break even. All right, getting a little pullback right now. We'll see what happens if I do break out, go break even on this. Really, I'm looking for the move now to go to 160.50s. And I'd like to see XOM take to the upside here and XLE take to the upside towards the end. Make a move there towards like 88.90s here towards the end. If that does happen, we will be looking decent in Chevron. We'll see what happens. This could also be a swing, but I'm not going to leave it as a swing. This is in the trade to pull account. So I'm just looking for this to grind up to 160.50s, maybe 160.60s, and I could take it all and run. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's take a look at Apple. I've talked already a little bit about it, Bug, but I'm going to look for this to continue. Of course, I have the swing trade on there. As long as this continues in the green, I think we're looking good here. Now I'm in a position of strength, going to look for this to continue to go. Of course, I have 186. Anything below that 186, I'll try to add towards 185 and hold towards that risk. But it looks pretty good here for a nice 190 run. We'll have to wait and find out. All right, let's keep going. There's some other names that are showing up on my radars. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at that. Let's go to the SPY and see the top moves in the SPY today. There's some different names here that we got to catch. The reversal on HPE, got to give a shout out to my man Dennis Dick, killing it again with that reversal call for HPE. And that was down in the morning and just reversed right back into the market day. That wasn't a move that wasn't too bad at all. What do you guys see here? Bath and Body Works. Who was talking about this yesterday? I talked about this a little bit just to give you guys the insight. Like I always tell you guys, got stopped out there on Chevron on the pullback of 160.17 there. I'm out of the trade. I lost like maybe 2 cents, 3 cents there because I was at 160.20s, but not going to be mad about that, right? Let's just keep moving forward. It was a good day in the trade to pull back into the green, and that's what matters. Continuing now 2 days green this week and 1 day red. That's what it's all about, team. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. You guys let me know in the chat. Market balance imbalances, 1.7 billion to the sell side. Let's see how that comes into the market here. I'm going to switch up my screens. That's why I'm taking it down for just a second here. There we go. All right, there we go. Now we can take a look at some other action, but this doesn't look too bad. That Bath and Body Works, they're hiring seasonal workers. So who knows where that one ends up. Let's take a look at some coin. I did want to keep an eye out on this one. Now starting to recover 84s. Doesn't look too bad, guys. I kind of really like coin in the long run and don't want to be missing these pullbacks. It's holding this 23.6. So you know what? I'm going to take a swing trade attempt on this, guys. I'm going to go very slow into this today, just in case I have to add to it tomorrow. I'm going to take here 83.97. So I just took it there. You guys can see the offer is even below now where I got in 83.94 and pulling back a little bit. I'm going to risk about $2 on the name right here off the 84 towards the 82s and look for really this to get back through 90s and continue through. It could pull back here tomorrow and keep going back down towards the 80s. So you got to be careful on a name like this. But I'm willing to take a shot here. I think there's a lot of people looking for kind of Bitcoin exposure. BLK is another one that I'd think about, but it's just too expensive. It's a $600.95 stock. But I'm taking some shots today, guys, and that's all that matters. All right, Lift off, getting a nice little push there. I saw Uber also strong. I think this is really why you're seeing Lyft strong, is that Uber is making a really nice move here. That's actually driving Lyft higher also. So we'll look how some of these names kind of continue to perform. Not a bad move overall as it starts to get the push. And I mean, think about it. I mean, the sectors are doing pretty decent lately. Let's go to some of the action here as you're seeing technology some recover and reject that kind of head and shoulders move. Consumer cyclical now really starting to push. Industrials climbing higher. Real estate, energy climbing higher. Defensives also climbing today. Basic materials pulling back a little bit. Financial services didn't really struggle today, but you can see here towards the end, not looking the best. You can see JPM still kind of weak. We're still not having JPM turn around. And if anything, we're having the KRE showing some weakness again today. So we'll see what happens if this really starts kind of dragging into the market. This is the only thing that I can see turning this trade around, the tech trade, but we'll find out. XLF pulling back a little bit today. Will it take the next step up? We'll have to wait and see. Square, I could see some people taking some shots on names like this, names that are at the bottom of the range on the dailies where you can use daily supports. I'm seeing some traders trying to take some shots. I can't blame them, right? Because they're trying to call a little bit of a turn, like let's say off the 55s here for Square and taking 56 or 57 off of that level. This is what I'm seeing right now. What I call, looking in the dumpsters, right? They're looking in the dumpsters for ARKK, trying to find names that are starting to turn around that could get the push. And just to mention one name that I went after today, and this was all based on seasonality. Of course, I've talked about this trade before. I took a little bit of Penn National Gaming today on this kind of sideways action. I could see DKNG already there to 29. I can't go after this one. I'm way too late to the party on this. But I also saw other casinos making a move today. Win almost to that 100. I really like this 98.50 pullback. I had an opportunity to buy it for that nice move towards 100. And I would have already been in a nice position here. And I also like MGM today as that went back through 44s. And it was just off the VWAP here around the 43.80 area. And it just went back up to 44.25. Now pulling back to 44. We'll see what happens to these resorts and casinos. Of course, if we go into more recession talk, these could get hit again, but they're getting the lift right now. Interesting to see it. I also saw some China EVs getting a little bit of a lift. Keep your eyes on these names. NIO yesterday took a beating, but could make a move back to fill that gap and then start making a move back into 12. So I'll keep an eye out on these names as they're really close towards some pullbacks. Like LI would be looking to see if this gets back to 42 and 43. That could take the lead. Keep your eyes on some China tech names. I saw Baba pretty strong today, trying to make a move back through 96. There's some interesting plays out there. There's a lot of opportunities, but you got to be careful. Still long some SoFi. Let's take a look here. SoFi up towards 873s, really holding that 8 pullback. That's a really nice pullback. It's already pulled back to that level. So now I wouldn't want it to break that level. And now it looks like it wants to start holding 850s. So I'd be looking for pullbacks towards, 860s, 875, somewhere in here tomorrow. If it can pop above 9, then get right back below. Doesn't look too bad to risk off these levels. We'll see what happens there in SoFi if it can get the step up in the next month, right? Into September, into October. It's not a bad looking stock. All right, we'll see what else is going on. Apple still staying into the green. That looks great for the market overall as Apple continues to push, and not a bad outlook for me. Looking for Apple today, SMCI. Those were the top stocks that I was looking for, and I grinded it up, made some good money, been back into the green. That's what it's all about, team. 358. That's probably going to do it for me. In a second, we'll wrap up here. Like always, you guys can find out more on everything we do here on Benzinga. We always got our morning show, our flagship show, Pre-Market Prep. That's where we get you guys ready for the market open. Then, of course, live trading. This is where you see me trade that stock like SMCI. If you guys want to check that out, that's always every single morning. Usually starts up at 9:05 to 9:10. And you guys can check that out all the way until 11 a.m. Eastern. Smash the like if you guys enjoy that action. If you guys enjoy the start swing trade here, me sharing with you guys my swing trading approach and how I go about it, looking for rotation in the market. Of course, recently we just got a nice little tech rally. We could see today that they were buying the pullback. At least that's what I saw in the market. Now let's see if they take another tech rally tomorrow off the PCE numbers. That's one thing that I will give you guys some insight tomorrow. What's going to be the focus? Well, the focus will be PCE, right? PCE will be coming in. Why is it the focus? Because it's the Fed's favorite indicator for inflation. We will see what happens off of that number. That comes in tomorrow, and you'll find out, of course, on Pre-Market Prep. So don't miss that, guys. We will see what goes on in the market. Smash the like, guys, if you guys enjoyed the action today. We'll always keep going right here on Benzinga. And, of course, check out the Cathie Wood interview. I know I checked it out. I enjoyed it, and I learned something from Cathie that I didn't know. But I won't tell you guys that because we'll talk a little bit about it tomorrow on Pre-Market Prep. I want to bring it up with the guys, and we'll touch a little bit on that interview. You guys check it out. I'll throw up the link for it again here if you haven't already done so. And I'll bring you guys actually to it. If you stick around, this should redirect you right to that Cathie Wood interview. Smash the like if you guys enjoyed the action and everything that we do for you guys right here on Benzinga. If you're new, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow.